Hello everyone, my name is RetroBrayer3, coming back at you with another video review, this time on LEGO Dimensions set number 71203, the Portal 2 level pack with 1 minifigure and 85 pieces. So without further ado, let's get started. So our one and only minifig for this set is of course Chell, the main protagonist of the 2 Portal games. And before I show you the actual figure in depth, this is what her toy tag looks like, with orange on the sides, the Aperture logo, and then just a blue line on the back. So then the Chell figure here looks great. So first I'll get the accessory out of the way. Chell does come with a portal gun, if I can pull it out of the hand. And while this is a great piece, the problem is that the entire weapon is made of, well, not weapon, but the entire apparatus is made out of rubber, which makes it a bit difficult to get the figure to hold it, because, again, the entire thing is made of rubber. And, I mean, that makes sense, so that these parts on the front wouldn't snap off, but, I mean, it is a bit disappointing that they couldn't at least make the handle a hard plastic. And, well, I mean, I guess the gun is actually made up of 2 pieces. You have this main piece, as well as just a small light blue Baraki eye piece that just goes in the end to represent, like, well, I guess a portal being shot out, maybe? Anyway, so then just looking at the figure, you can see the Chell does have an exclusive pair of orange and white dual-molded legs to represent her long fall boots from the second game. You have her nice Aperture shirt, which has some nice detailing, including the Aperture logo, and then just some, well, it's honestly a pretty simple print, but it's a very nice simple print, because I think that it's perfectly detailed and it has everything it needs to. Same thing with the face, which is just a very simple, tranquil, well, expressionless expression, really. Which is good, because that's really what you would want for a figure of Chell. And this is what Chell looks like from the back. And this is what Chell's secondary face looks like. So the 2 builds included in this set, at least for the first build of each, are the Sentry turret and the companion cube. So I'll start off by showing you the Sentry turret, which, I mean, if you were to compare it to a figure, it is a bit large, but overall I do think that it turned out really well for what it's supposed to be. This is, of course, it in its attacking position, what with the 4 studs representing its machine guns, these being the side panels. I think that the eye is a bit disappointing. Wish that maybe that could have been a flat tile that has a bit of printing on it. I mean, from the back, you can see a lot of the pieces that will be used for the other builds that they just didn't here, including these 2 laser pieces, some cylinders, and a few Baraki eye elements, as well as the 3rd leg. And then here you have this little antenna, so overall a pretty successful build. And then here you have the companion cube, or I mean, I guess, well, this here is the companion cube, this with the 5 different printed tiles and 1 just regular plate underneath. And the rest of this is just a stand to give some extra pieces for the rebuilds, although all 3 rebuilds do have a large stand, which is a bit strange, since with most of the other ones that include a large stand for something, you usually use all of the stand for at least one of the other builds. But anyway, you have some shields on the sides, one of these jeweled heart pieces, and yeah, overall a pretty nice build. And now, let's go on to the turret striker and laser deflector. Next up here, we have the turret striker and laser deflector. Starting with the turret striker here, you can see that this is a very interesting thing. You put the legs in kind of a running position. It still has 4 guns, but now 2 of them protrude farther out. These 2 lasers that were unused in the original build, well, they were used, of course, but they were hidden, are now 2 of the vehicle's main weapons. The 3rd leg is now stored on the back. It's a far wider thing, and in-game, it can no longer do the turret the special turret ability, but it can destroy gold Lego objects. Then moving on to the laser deflector, this, I guess, is basically in-game, it functions as one of the thermal redirection cubes. But, I mean, of course, they still had to use all the pieces from the companion cube. It's not exactly a cube, but it does still work, in my opinion. I do like how they did use the shields on the shields for this. I do like the shields being used to represent, like, the blocking, even though it is, of course, rather inaccurate to the game. And, of course, this can redirect thermal discouragement beams and, well, all lasers, just like this style of thing would in Portal 2, as well as this, of course, can also be used as a standard companion cube, or weighted storage cube. So now we will move on to the final builds, the flying turret carrier, and the gold heart emitter, sorry. Last but not least, here we have the flying turret carrier and the gold heart emitter. And starting with the flying turret carrier, now the turret gains the ability to fly as well as destroying gold Lego objects. You can see these 2 guns down here, some guns on here. Don't know why I keep just saying guns. Turrets, I guess they would be. You have the red bars on the back, and what's cool is that if I take the Chell minifigure included with this set, you can actually clip them into this vehicle and then put these bars kind of around them, and now they are actually piloting the turret carrier, which is a pretty cool thing. And then here you have the this is the gold heart emitter, which is an interesting build. This is the front of it, where you can see, well, it's not emitting a gold heart right now, but it is just emitting the pink crystal heart that's been included. Now I do kind of wish that wasn't gold, though, because that would make it correlate a bit better to the actual gold hearts it emits in the game. Anyway, you have the 2 side panels, which interestingly have a bit of gap between the 2x2 space. There's actually a stud in between the 2x2 space and the tile, which is interesting. Don't know why they did that. You have the 2 shields here, and then this is also kind of strange here. You have 2 of these printed tiles layered on top of one another. So anyway, that is the gold heart emitter, which, if you can guess, now has the ability to emit gold hearts, which regenerate your health. So now, let's go on to the final verdict. Overall, for younger kids, I would rate this set I'll rate it an 8, because the turret as well as Chell are very fun to use in-game. I mean, sure, the companion cube is a bit clunky, but once you get it in the gold heart emitter form, or the laser deflector, both of those are very useful even without needing a companion cube switch to press. And, but I do think that the level is a bit challenging for younger kids, so yeah, that's why I gave it that rating. For teens and young adults, I would give this set for them, I'll give it a 10, because that's the most likely demographic to get this pack and to have played Portal 2 and to like the game. And the level in the game does feel a lot like something from Portal 2. Except obviously Chell controls like a Lego minifigure rather than a Chell. You still can't say apple, though, which is rather concerning. And then for adults, for adult collectors, I would probably give this set I'll give it an 8.5. Because while these are some nice collectible, well, I guess that these are rather collectible to have, I doubt that Portal 2 is going to be some huge thing that in 30 years will, or even 10 years, will still be super popular, seeing as how Valve can't count to 3. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.